Welcome to Really Do It Yourself. I'm Diana. Today I'm going to show you some crochet basics to be able to make my crochet peep pattern. As you see, these are my peeps. Okay, and this is the pattern, and the pattern is going to be available on my blog. I'll put the link below. Keep in mind, I am no expert. I'm self-taught, so I'm basically going to teach you the simple steps to make the peeps, okay? I would not be making the entire peep. I'm just going to be making some of the stitches and teaching you the stitches that we're going to be using to make the peeps. For instance, I'm going to teach you how to make the magic ring. I'm going to teach you how to do a single crochet. I'm going to teach you how to increase, decrease, and how to do the ears for the bunnies, which I think that people might have difficulty understanding. The written pattern, like I mentioned, is going to be on my blog, and it's already on the blog, and it's going to be posted below. Okay? So now we'll begin. What we're going to need is yarn, and the yarn that I use for the peeps, except for the green one here, is the Sugar and Cream in different colors, which is 100% cotton. So all of these are done in that, except for this green one. The green one is Red Heart yarn. The pattern says 9mm safety eyes. I believe these are 6. That was an error on my part. I believe these are 6mm. I'm going to fix that on the pattern as well, okay? And that's it. And a hook. The hook that I use here is a size G hook, which is 4.25mm. And then you're going to need some fill, okay? Just to fill them up, and that's about it. Okay, so now I'm going to go close up. I've been listening to the comments that people have left, and some of you are asking for more close-up videos of the actual projects that I'm doing. I want you guys to know that we're working very, very, very hard to try to make sure that these videos are, I'm not going to say perfect because no one is perfect, but where you guys can understand everything and where you can see everything. I do answer all of my comments, so if you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I might not get to you in a day or two, but I promise that I'll get to you, okay? That's it. Now I'm going to go close up and we're going to begin. Okay, so let us begin. What I'm going to do now is, and I'm actually using a thicker yarn, and I'm going to use a larger size hook, okay, just for demonstration purposes. The bunnies, like I mentioned before, on the pattern, they require a size G hook, 4.25mm, to create this adorable bunny. And these bunnies are about approximately 5 inches big, okay? So now let us begin, and the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to do a magic ring. So for the magic ring, the way that I do is I take my fingers and I put them like this. I take a piece of yarn and I pinch it here. So I'm pinching it with my thumb, okay, and I'm going to go down 1. And when I come over to do the loop, I'm actually going to make an X. So you see the X that I formed here in the front, and I'm going to hold on to that X over there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hook, and I always have it hook side down, and I put it in through the first loop to grab over the second loop. Grab it, twist it around. So you see here how I have a little loop. Now you can let it go, and you can actually take the yarn that you still have attached to your yarn ball, and you're going to yarn over, hold on to your circle, and you're going to bring it into that loop you just created. So right here you have a magic ring. See? This opens and this closes. That's what we want. So I'm going to do it again so that you guys can see again. So okay, I'm going to take here and I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to create an X. So I'm actually overlapping. See, if you were to go like this, you're actually just overlapping that second loop to create the X. So again, you're going to overlap and twist it over to the side. So you have an X here, and I'll show you how it looks on the other side. Okay, so I have my X, and I'm going to take my hook and bring it in over so that I can grab onto the second loop, and then I'm going to twist. Okay, and now this is my yarn. I'm going to yarn over and bring it inside that loop that you created. I lost my little loop. There we are. Okay, and then you would be ready to move on to your single crochets. So let's just do it again. Once again. Oh, that didn't work out well. Okay, once again. And now we're going to be ready here to do our single crochet. Now you want to make sure that this is nice and big, just because you're going to close it up with this string here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet. And now before I even move on, it depends, the way you hold your hook depends a lot on you. I hold my hook as if it's a knife, so this way. See that it has this little part here? This is where I put my thumb, and I work with it as if it's a knife, and it feels so much more comfortable for me. Some people hold it, which I used to hold it that way, sort of like this, like a pencil, and by the time I was finished a project, I noticed that I was in a lot of pain. Maybe it's just because I didn't know how to use it this way, but I find it that it's so much easier this way. Again, it's preference, so you try it both ways and see which way feels better for you. So now I'm going to put that back inside my hook, and what I'm going to do is, and you want to make sure that this extra piece actually goes into your single crochet when you're making the single crochet. So let me just make the loop bigger so that you see what it is that I'm doing. Okay, so you see how I have my hook here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to bring it in. So inside that loop, that circle that we made, I'm going to grab some yarn, bring it in, bring it up, yarn over again, and now you're going to put it in both of those loops. Okay, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go in the circle, bring some yarn out, yarn over, and now you're going to go in those two loops. Now I have to start closing mine because I have a small end. Okay, so we want to do that for 6. So again, for a single crochet, you go in, bring some yarn out, yarn over, and then you're going to go in between those two. You're going to go inside those two loops that you created there. Okay, and I need 3 more. So in, you're going to grab some yarn, you're going to go over, yarn over, and there's a lot of technical terms, so I'm doing this for people that don't know how to crochet and are wondering and can't figure out the technical terms. It is pretty easy, it's just that you have to learn the terms. So this is a single crochet, and now I need 1 more. So I'm just going to close this off here. Going through the hole. Okay, get some yarn. You're going to yarn over now, over on your hook, and there you are. Now I should have 6. So now I'm going to close that off, and the way that you tell how many you have is these little V's that it forms here. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. There we are. Just adjust this for you so you can see. You see the V's that I'm talking about? So these V's here are your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 V's, so that means that that's perfect. That's what the pattern calls for. Now I'm going to increase, which is what the pattern calls for. It's 2 stitches in each of your single crochet first stitches on the first row. So what you're going to do is the same thing you were doing before. You're going to take and you're going to go inside. So the hook is going to go under the V. So let me get it here. So you're going to take those 2 loops from the V, and you're going to put your hook in under it. So you see here I have the 2 loops of the V here. And now what we're going to do is the same thing. You're going to take some yarn, and not the yarn from the magic circle. You're going to take some yarn, you're going to bring it under those 2 stitches, the V, and now you're going to yarn over. So you're doing the exact same thing, but now you're going inside that stitch. So that's 2. Now you're going to do it on the next one. So you're going to do 2 in each of your stitches. That's 1. That's 2. So I have 4 done already. That's 6. Again, remember, you're going inside the 2 stitches, the V, what formed the V. You're going to go right under it. And you're going to do 2 single crochets in each of them. So all we're doing here is single crochet. Okay. And you see how that's taken shape? Okay. And then what you could do again is just count how many V's you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12. So that's it. I am done there. Just focus here again. Okay, so I'm done there. That's how you increase. So I have 12 here. And now what you want to do is, as you keep going, it's going to actually take shape. You want to make sure there's an inside and an outside of your crochet work. Okay, and you'll notice I'm going to show you now on the larger piece that I have. But you would continue to go on. Each of the rows tells you this is a single crochet, and then you're going to increase. So you're going to follow the directions. Everywhere it tells you increase, you're going to put 2 inside each stitch. So it's going to be 2 under the same V. You're not going to move on to the next stitch, okay? So now you're just going to follow the pattern all the way up and do all the increases that it says. Now I'm going to move on to the one that I have, and I'm going to start with the decrease. So as you see here, I have one that I already started, which I increased all the way up. And here you'll see that this is where my inside is, and this is where the outside of the pattern is. And you can almost see, I mean, this is a large yarn, so I think it looks pretty both ways, but it does look prettier one way than the opposite way, okay? Normally it'll curl up and form a ball with the inside being the actual outside. So the outside will be in the inside. So you would have to flip it over, okay? So I've already done that. This is actually my outside. And now here I have 30 stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease so that you know what it is to do an invisible decrease. And normally what I like to do is I like to use stitch markers. And stitch markers, we have here these beautiful little stitch markers that you can pick up. Cooks, Crafts, Arts and Supplies has it. I'll put the link below. They have a set for four for $12, and they come in different varieties. Also here, little angels. Aren't these adorable? Okay, so this is what I like to use when I'm working on a project. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to decrease. Like I said, I'm not doing the whole peep. I'm just doing the stitches that you're going to need. So I'm going to do a decrease. I'm going from 30 to 24. So it would be the same thing you guys would be doing on the pattern to do your peep. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to do my first stitch of the following row. So what we're going to do is, see, I'm going here into my V, under the V, and I'm going to do 1 single crochet. And now I'm going to put my stitch marker just so that I know that that's the first stitch of that row. Okay, and see, it doesn't even get in the way. It just hangs there nice and pretty. And you have to go, and these stitch markers actually have the hook letters on them. So this says H. This is not the one that I'm using. This is just for an example. Just in case you're working on something and now you have to go take care of something else, you want to come back. Sometimes you forget, trust me, I forget all the time which hook I used. So you'll have the letter here to match. So you can actually just leave it in the project, start a new project, come back, and you'll know exactly what hook you were using. So now, like I said, that marks, that's the first stitch. So now in order to do this, I'm going to do 3 single crochets and 1 decrease. So that was the first one. That's my second one. Be careful, and this is my third. Okay, now for the decrease, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go under the first, you see my V, so I'm only going to take one of those loops, the first loops of this following 2 stitches. So I'm going to go in between, so right in between the V, see here, in between. So I didn't take both, you see the other one is right here. So now you have those three loops on your hook, and you're going to take that and you're going to get 2 loops, and then you're going to do your single crochet, which closes them. So I'm going to do that all the way around, and then I'll show you how to do the ears. So I need 3, 2, 3, and here we are with the invisible decrease. I'm going to go the first loop of the V of the next 2 stitches. Go in, get some yarn, and close it off. So that's my second one. That's 1, that's 2, 3, to decrease, you're going to go on the first loop of that V. The same thing on the following stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, go inside the first 2. You should have 2 more on your hook. Go over again and go in those 2 last loops. Okay, so it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Like I mentioned before, I am self-taught, so it did take me a little longer. Okay, so here we are. We have 24. So I have 24 stitches. If you count the V's, you'll have 24. Now I'm going to show you what to do for the ears. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a slip stitch onto the next stitch. So you're going to go under the V, get some yarn, and put it into that loop you just had. So there you have a slip stitch, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 chains, and the chain is done just by yarn over and going into the loop. Yarn over again and going into your loop. So right here I have 2 chains. Now I'm going to count 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to connect these 2 chains to the back of that 12th stitch, okay? By doing a slip stitch again. So that means you yarn over and you pull it into that stitch. Okay, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to single crochet into all the rest of the stitches for 1 ear. Okay, so now on the pattern it tells you not to add the eyes until you do the chain 2 for the ear, and the reason for that is that it changes the direction that you're working on, since you had to divide it in the middle, so it changes where the eyes would be. So now once you have the chain, you can determine where your front and back is, as opposed to before it'll be on the side. So I'm going to put my eyes, and these are safety eyes, okay? These are huge safety eyes, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these instead. I'm not going to put the back on them because I'm going to take this off. I just want to show you how it would look. Okay, so here you have it. And then again, like I said, I'm just going to continue to go around and just do the 5 rows for this ear, and then I'm going to do the next ear. And you're going to use the 2 chains as stitches, okay? So we're going to single crochet into those chains. Okay. And then you just keep going around. And there you are. Okay, so now you see that I went around a few times and I used the chain stitches that I had here in the middle. Okay, I have 12 stitches here. So now you would just continue to go up the rows until you get to the top row, and you're going to decrease, okay? And you've already seen how to decrease. Remember, you take the first loop of each of the following 2 V's. So you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to go through the first 2. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to go through the following 2. And that's going to give you a nice decrease. As you see, you cannot tell. It all looks like the same exact stitch. You cannot tell where I decreased. You cannot tell where I increased, okay? So now I'm just going to show you how you would do the other ear, because once you finish this one, it's going to be completely attached like this, and then you're going to have to do the second one separately. So I just created this Peep design because it's mostly one piece except for one of the ears, okay? So what we're going to do there is I'm going to take a piece of yarn here, and just to show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to start here on this back stitch, and again, do not use the stitch that you did the slip stitch in, which is this one that has my stitch marker. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to just put this in a little loop, okay, which I'm going to go like this and bring it in, just like if I were doing a single crochet. a slip stitch. So you can slip stitch it there so that it stays in place. I have a little knot there, hold on one sec. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do the other ear. You take the yarn, and we're going to slip stitch it to the first stitch. So you got to put it in here. Okay. And just insert the hook into that stitch, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go around this way and single crochet all the way around to complete the second ear. I just want to show you how to attach it to the chains in the center. So that way your ear closes up. Okay. It's my last stitch here. Oh, make sure it goes through. And then you're going to take and you're going to do the same thing with the stitches that are inside. So you have to go inside here and single crochet into the two chains. Okay. It's a little difficult because they're a little on the tighter side, the chains that are there. Once you get it done, all you have to do is just continue to go around. So now, go into the first stitch that we created there. Okay, and there you are. And now we're just going to continue to go all the way around. You're going to do single crochet until you get the 5 rows that you need, and then you're going to do your decrease and close off your ears. But as you see, you'll see that it's taking shape now. You're going to have 2 separate ears. The same way that this one went up, just going to leave it there. Okay, the same way that this one went up, you're just going to continue to do it. And before you get all the way to the top, while the peeps are a little bit smaller, you want to make sure that you stuff them, okay? Before you get all the way to the top, make it as fluffy as you like, because once you get to the top, it's a little bit more difficult to stuff the body, okay? And that'll be your end result. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, please share, and I would love to see all the peeps that you create. So please follow me on social media and show me all the peeps that you make. Okay? Till next time, thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.